We Americans know, although others appear to forget, the risk of spreading conflict. We still seek no wider war.
We introduced what was called Rolling Thunder, which over the years became a very, very heavy bombing program. 2 to 3 times as many bombs as were dropped on Western Europe during all of World War II.
This is not primarily a military problem. It's a battle for the hearts and the minds of the people of South Vietnam. As a prerequisite to that, we must be able to guarantee their physical security.
We're off to bombing these people. Over that hurdle. The game now is at the 4th quarter and about 7-8 to nothing. Well, I'm scared to death of putting ground forces in, but I'm more frightened about losing a bunch of planes, lack of security. So am I. The psychological impact of the Marines are coming is going to be a bad one. And I know that every mother is going to say, oh, this is it. What we've done with these B-57s is just going to be Sunday school stuff compared to the Marines. My answer is yes, but my judgment's no.
All right, we'll take care of this, President.
When are you going to issue the order?
Well, we'll make it late today, so it'll miss some of the morning edition. I'll handle it in a way that'll minimize the announcement. Westmoreland recommended 10 additional battalions over and above the 13 you've already authorized. Something on the order of 45,000 men. I would recommend 5 battalions with a strength of about 25,000 men. Because in the back of my mind, I have a very definite limitation on commitment. And I don't think the chiefs do. But you know that.
Not a damn human thinks that 50,000 or 100,000 or 150,000 are going to end that war. We're not getting out, but we're trying to hold what we got. And we're doing a bad, well, we're doing, we're losing at the rate we're going.
It was announced today that total American casualties in Vietnam now number 4,877, including 748 killed.
Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara, on each of his 7 inspection trips to Vietnam, has found some positive aspect to the course of the war there. The most vivid impression I'm bringing back is that we've stopped losing the war. The North Vietnamese today, we believe, have 9 regiments of
Some of the men had little training in a state park in Kentucky before coming here, but it did not prepare them for the thicket of trees, spiked vines, thorn bushes, almost perpendicular cliffs, 90-degree temperature, insects.
This has changed from a nasty little war to a nasty middle-sized war. The Vietnamese are still doing most of the fighting and most of the dying. But week after week, American casualty figures go up.
Now, America wins the wars that she undertakes. Make no mistake about it. And we have declared war on tyranny and aggression. If this little nation goes down the drain and can't maintain her independence, ask yourself what's going to happen to all the other little nations.
I am more and more convinced that we ought to think of some action other than military action as the only program here. But I think if we do that by itself, it's suicide. I think pushing out 300,000, 400,000 Americans out there without being able to guarantee what it will lead to is a terrible risk and a terrible problem.
Let me go back one moment. In the Cuban Missile Crisis, at the end, I think we did put ourselves in the skin of the Soviets. In the case of Vietnam, we didn't know them well enough to empathize. And there was total misunderstanding as a result. They believed that we had simply replaced the French as a colonial power, and we were seeking to subject South and North Vietnam to our colonial interests, which was absolutely absurd. And we saw Vietnam as an element of the Cold War, not what they saw it as, a civil war.